So beginning this video, I wanted to show a little bit of the theory behind why we're testing the volume on this fuel pump. I'm going to show you the why first, then I'll show you the how. If you're not interested in the why, then you can skip ahead. But basically, for your fuel pump to be effective, it needs both pressure and volume. And if we think of like a garden hose, if you don't have anything on the end of it and you just open it all the way, you're getting plenty of volume because there's nothing to restrict the flow of that water coming out. It may not be very high pressure just because it's going through a large opening or a large hole, but as soon as we add on like a nozzle tip, suddenly now all of this water is being channeled and being forced through a small opening. That's how we get our pressure. So a good fuel pump, you need to check for both because it requires both good volume and good pressure. A lot of people only check for pressure, but the problem is that can be very misleading because you may be within spec of pressure, but you're not within spec of volume, and you'll have a lot of top end problems when you are going wide open throttle and you're getting just really poor performance because you're not getting the volume that you need. You're only getting the pressure. And a good example of how this can happen is if you take this same garden hose with a tip on it, if we put a kink in it and restrict some of that water flow, you'll still get a really good pressure at the end, just because this is not requiring a whole lot of volume to make good pressure. And especially when we test fuel pumps, a lot of people, they just hook up a gauge to it, turn the key on, or go to the relay and jump 2 cables to keep that pressure on, or to keep the fuel pump on and build up pressure. They look at the pressure gauge and they look at it and it may look normal, and they don't test anything else. But especially if you don't have any fuel moving, this will build pressure very easily, especially if you don't have fuel moving and this isn't opened up at all. You can easily be within spec with that, but as soon as you start romping on the gas, this little kink or whatever's causing you not to have volume, it'll restrict you from really opening up your engine. So that's kind of the premise of it. We're going to go out now and I'm going to show you how you check the volume. This method's really easy. All I did was take a safety pin, and I have 4 wires here. This one in the middle, this in the middle and towards the right is has red with I think a green stripe on it. That's the wire that you want. All I did was take a safety pin and back probe it in, and then I'm going to connect my little jumper lead there. And I've verified that that made good connection, and it did with my multimeter. And I'm just going to manually take my jumper cable and touch the red lead. And we can hear just with that sound, we know that it's working. So the next step up would be to get yourself a bottle. I've let this dry out for several days, so there is no water specks in it or anything. What you see at the bottom is just a little bit of fuel. You want to set it up there. You want to make sure you get any dirt off of the tip. But basically you want to take your end here, set it in the bottle, and kind of a good reference point to know if a fuel pump's good or not is this is a pint bottle. It should have no problem filling that within 30 seconds. So this fuel pressure gauge has a little bypass valve here. You just push and hold that in once we have the connection, and we're going to time it for 30 seconds. Okay, I've started my timer. I'm holding the bypass valve. I'm waiting till a good 30-second mark comes up, and I'm connecting my source, my electrical connection. 10 seconds in. We're at 20 seconds now. Alright, so that was just under 30 seconds. And as you can see, our bottle is full, so we know the volume for this pump is good. And I think that's a pretty quick and easy way to test this fuel pump. This is a RZR 570. I'd imagine this would work just fine as well on a 900 or even 1000. So thanks for watching.